Alright guys, it's you here. Today we're bringing you a patch rundown, kind of patch tier list of all of the supports that I think are really good, based off of the games that I play in Grandmaster and Challenger. Today is June 10th, 2026. Actually, it's a little later, but the patch is on June 10th, 2026. It's patch 26.12. So yeah, let's get started on this tier list. Blitzcrank, I think it's a situational pick, not always the best. Still very strong, bottom of B tier. Very good against enchanters, any poke mages. Weak against what you would say as like engaged champions, right? Alistar, same thing as Blitzcrank. Very strong against engaged champions. Does well into some enchanters, and very weak into some picks. So I would say he's a very situational champ, where you would only pick him into like let's just say Rell, because you counter her W, um, Nautilus or Leona, anything of that nature, right? Bard S tier. Bard has been S tier for a long time now. Bard is almost always the number one most picked champion in most high elo supports, mainly in Challenger, Korean Challenger. And I want to just add some two other supports in S tier. Those will probably be the only S tier champions that I will put in here, and that'll be Neeko. Neeko is also very broken, almost always in the champ pool of top Korean, top NA players. Very strong support, has engage, has poke, and has CC abilities. Same thing with Bard. And then I want to add Nidalee. Nidalee is a very sleeper pick, I would say. Not very good with APCs, but very strong with ADCs, mainly because she's very slippery in bushes. She has like a whole lot of extra move speed in bushes. She has her W to escape any abilities. She has a heal that's like 700 late game with Echoes of Helia, and then she also has a lot of poke, and that heal that she has on her E also gives her ADC like 50% attack speed. So it's basically an unlosable pick. The only thing that she doesn't offer is CC abilities, right? So if your team has CC, Nidalee is probably the best pick, or the best support, I would say, out of all of these supports. She also has her W. She can put it in traps, in corners where a lot of people would come. It gives vision. It gives like bush control, so that enemy supports can't even go into the bush. And you can even take sweeper early to sweep out the wards in the bushes that the enemy support might put in, right? I don't see Brand ever, so no Brand. I think probably the best support to play into engage supports, but very weak. You have to say this for a counter pick. Very weak against any enchanters. Galio, not really seen. If I were to give him like a tier list, I'll give him a C. Same thing with Gragas. Janna I've been seeing a lot recently, but she hasn't gotten any buffs or received any changes. I still think she's decent, but she's not like the strongest champion. So I'll give her a B tier. Karma, A tier, very consistent. She's gotten nerfs in the past. She's gotten changes with her support items last patch. So basically a very strong blind pick, A tier. Got the poke, got the shields, classic support champion. And there's one more support champion that I have to figure out. Yuumi. Yuumi is the one support that got changed this patch. I still don't see her in high elo, so I don't know what she belongs into. I think she's like a C tier still, or I mean she would be a D tier if it weren't for this patch. She's still I think she's a C tier, not very good. I don't see where you would ever play her in replacement with any of these champions, right? And I want to move Rell and Leona up. I think those two right here, Rell, probably top, typically top of A tier, and same with Leona. Leona less in high elo, but very strong in mid to mid high elo. Very strong low elo pick. Still very strong high elo pick, but there are counter picks to her as a champion. Rell is probably the best engage support if you don't count Neeko as a support that engages. Very strong pick. Still can get countered by champions like Poppy and Janna. But you know, overall very strong pick. Nidalee does very well into Rell, by the way, if you ever play like that matchup. So yeah, don't pick Rell into Nidalee if you ever see one. Lulu, PD tier, classic support. I don't see her that often. She's not very strong unless you get certain ADC champions like Sivir, Ashe, Twitch, Kog'Maw, Vayne. Those champions are really the only ADCs that you would pick Lulu with. Yeah, Lux out of support, low elo pick. Maokai is underrated. Very good counter pick to Pyke. Very good counter pick to a lot of the support or engaged supports. I think he's like a Braum, but he's less powerful into engaged supports and less weak into enchanters, right? Morgana's kind of a meme in high elo. You don't never see this, or when you do, you know that you're either gonna get a free win or you're gonna get stomped because their team is just infinitely better, and she's still, you know, just there to provide the ease. And yeah, I don't know. I give her a F, but she's a support, so still very strong pick. Yeah, never. Okay, so Nami's A tier. Probably the best blind pickable enchanter outside of Karma. I think Nami is better because she provides a heal instead of a shield, and she also gives the move speed just from her passive. She is the only support that can help APCs that's also an enchanter, so she is strong with mages, but she's also an enchanter, which usually you want to pick a engaged support champion with APC, with a mage bot lane. I don't know if I mentioned Mumu yet. Mumu is let's just move these two to F tier. Nautilus, very standard pick. Can't go wrong with Nautilus. Just your typical support pick. Not very weak. Like, he's a champion that you would just pick if you don't know what to do or what to pick, because very easy pick, always good. Not the best in every scenario. Actually, I want to move him to A tier. I think the support tier list this patch, like, a lot of champions are viable. I think almost every champion outside of these two are like playable. So yeah, the support meta is just, you know, if you want to play whatever, just pick whatever. Doesn't really matter much. You just need to understand like what the champion does and when to pick him, right? They're all good. Pantheon, I think Pantheon was really strong, but that's just my personal opinion. I don't see it often. He's very strong if the enemy ADC or support doesn't know how to space. So very strong if you want to 1v9, but it's a weaker pick in higher elo, so I would give it a C tier. Pyke's a B tier, only very good in... I main Pyke, and this might be biased, but Pyke is a champion where you're strong into enchanters, but you're very weak into melee engaged supports. And enchanters still can outscale Pyke late game, so all you have to do is play safe, ping missing, and try to match his roams if you can, right? So if Pike is roaming on a time that you can roam, you should be there, and usually you should be able to match or prevent a death. And in lane, you can go even or even win it if you play properly. Like there's specific patterns that Pike has to go through, and if you can predict that or match that, then the champion will just fall off after 15 minutes. If you ever see a Pike in your engaged support, Nautilus, very good, very strong, always a good counter pick. Every one of these champs are a counter pick, other than maybe Karma and Nami. So if you're a enchanter player, just play. I mean, okay, if you're an enchanter player, you're kind of out of luck, but Sona really does scale. I would put Sona like here. Sona would outscale Pike. Pike counters her in lane, but Sona, like, after 15 minutes, if you're dying to a Pike, you're kind of trolling. If you can play Nidalee support, play Nidalee support. Nidalee beats Pike. Like, actually. Super hard to play into Nidalee as an engaged player. If it's not point and click. Rakan, don't see this often. I think he's very versatile, but he really relies on your team, so I'd give him a bottom of the B tier. Sona is super strong right now. The patch currently has a Sona ADC at like a 55% win rate. She is very strong with Deathfire Touch, DFG, Deathfire Grasp. Probably, if not the best support, but she's better as an ADC, right? Still at 51% win rate. Seraphine, very strong still, very good enchanter. If you can match this up with like certain supports like Ashe, it'll be like an S tier, but an A tier, you know, strong support regardless. That's not played. Shaco's a troll pick. I know a friend that plays Shaco support. You don't want to go AP if you play Shaco support. You should go AD. Shen, not really play that much. I've seen it once throughout the season. It wasn't that good. Soraka, very underrated pick. Very underrated. Very good counter against Pike. Very good counter against Leona. Very good counter into Yumi and Janna. Stuff that relies on the team and is very passive. Very good counter into Braum. Very good counter pick outside of any engage supports that like have a hook. So if you're picking Soraka into Nautilus or Blitzcrank, you might be trolling. It is not that bad into Nautilus though, but it's bad into Blitzcrank. Still very underrated. I would honestly put her higher, but she's not that meta because there are other supports that actually provide utility outside of a silence. Thresh is a pick that you can kind of blind, but I don't know how to phrase this, but Thresh isn't a support that's good in high elo. He's a support that's very solid, but I wouldn't put him like I would not play this champion if you're not just trying to learn support. Like if you're learning support, Thresh is a very good champion to learn it because you understand like what your ADC needs. You kind of have a hook, probably the weakest hook in the game. You have a Flay that can peel your ADC, and then you have a Lantern that can also like help your team out and make plays with. So I mean, he's your stereotypical support, but he's not very strong in whatever. Taric is a counter pick, very strong in the matter that like the champion can absolutely destroy some matchups, like a Leona or a Rell. This champion, very good counter pick into him. Just a little clunky, so just make sure you use the R correctly. Not played. Zillion, underplayed, but I think Zillion's strong, but he's kind of a weird. He kind of sits in a weird scenario where he's like kind of a gimmick. Like he's strong, but it's very weird to play him because his abilities are just weird, right? So just because of that, I really have to like put him in B tier because no one really plays him. Zyra support, no one really plays him in high elo. I don't think she's that strong. She's better as ADC. Tahm Kench, same thing. B tier, not really good at peeling nowadays. You have the ult, but like there are other enchanters that peel better than that. Renata's a support that's not really played either. Don't see her often. She's not too terrible, but you wouldn't really pick her again outside of like certain like literally one champion, and that would be like Callista. Swain support is a carry, is like a carry support. I wouldn't play him if you're trying to just play support. Same with this. I do think Zac support is strong, but yeah, seen him a couple times. It's not like super strong, but it can potentially like catch people off guard because once you have like a like an E max range E, it's kind of annoying to deal with. Kind of one shot you too as ADC. Not really played, not really played, not really played, not really played, not really played. Ilio A tier. Champion's underrated. I think he's one of the best enchanters right now. People just don't play him much. But he does get countered by either Nollis, Blitzcrank, or Sona. And I think we have 2 more supports here. 3 more supports, I would say. These 3. Maybe 4. I mean, I think LeBlanc's support is very strong. As like a, she's like the only like damage support that I would really play. But I wouldn't really put her on this tier list. Damage page support. Okay, so Camille, very strong pick if you just want to roam and you think your ADC is trash. Like, I don't know how to put this. Camille like 1v9s early game if you roam and kind of just leave your ADC. But if your ADC is gonna int and die without you, then you probably won't want to pick Camille. So if you're below like Masters or even in Masters, you should not play Camille. Poppy, very strong counter pick. Definitely weaker than she used to be. If you're gonna play Poppy, make sure that the enemy support is a champion that has a dash, like Rell, and the jungle on the enemy team is a champion like Lee Sin or Kayn, or like Kayn gets countered by Poppy because Poppy can ram him inside the wall while he's still in it. So we'll pick that into Kayn or Poppy, or maybe champions like that have dashes like Kindred, Zinzao, anyone of that nature. So yeah, any questions about the support tier list? I'll be happy to answer that in the comments below. Top 3 champions I would play right now: Nidalee, Neeko, Bard. Very strong. Nidalee's kind of hard. Bard's kind of hard. Neeko's very easy to play and very strong. So I would blind Neeko. Like, Neeko's probably the best blindable support right now. So if there was one champion that I would ask you to play, or if I had to encourage you to play, it's Neeko. Very easy to play as well, right? So Bard, Nidalee if you're good. Bard and Nidalee if you're good. If you're like trying to practice mechanics, you're trying to get good at support, Bard and Nidalee would be your other 2 picks. And if you want to stay like consistent and play engaged champions that are standard, Rell and Leona are very strong this patch. very, very strong. They've got nothing but buffs in the recent patches, and there's not that many support changes. The only support changes this patch was for Yuumi, and Yumi's still shit into Leona and Rell, right? So why would you ever pick Yuumi? Leona, Rell, other two picks that I would say as an engaged player I would play. If you're not an engaged player, Sona, Seraphine, Sona, those three. The rest are kind of conditional. Karma kind of falls off later. She's a very good support early, very consistent, very blindable, but I wouldn't play her this patch just because there are stronger picks. Still very solid though. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll come back with another tier list tomorrow, or not tomorrow, next patch if you're interested. And be sure to check out my Twitch. It's twitch.tv/yuwandmi, YUWUANDMI. And have a good day, guys, and see you guys later. Bye.